Greetings everyone and welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm your host Captain Rye, and today we'll be looking at a Bismarck battle I had here in World of Warships. Now as this match gets underway, if you're watching this on the day that it's published, then I am either on my way to, currently at, or on my way back from and watching a movie, the USS Midway down in San Diego. So do look forward to seeing that trip posted at some point soon. I am definitely looking forward to being there, and hopefully the weather will behave itself while I'm down there and I can get some good images. As the battle gets underway, it is a Tier 9 maximum battle with a lot of Tier 7s. It's Ridgeline, and it's Domination Match Mode. This battle is going to go very, very poorly for my team at the beginning. And it's going to do so mostly due to that group of battleships that you can see down on the minimap currently sailing towards sea. Notice they're all sailing towards sea. Not one of them is trying to push it to the B cap point. The enemy does have a destroyer headed to or currently capping B, so there's definitely going to be a disadvantage to trying to cap it with a bunch of battleships. Our friendly Fletcher is up trying to contest A, and I've been trying to shoot at this Pepsi Cola up here, who's been giving me a broadside. Unfortunately, RNGesus has not been granting me those glorious citadels. In fact, I've mostly been getting over-penetrations. Torpedoes coming in there from what was probably the Fukuki, but they are only the 10-kilometer torps, so they run out of steam. And now I'm in a situation where I can either continue turning back away from all of the action, or I can risk giving the Iowa off in the distance a full broadside. Since I'm not currently spotted, I'm going to go ahead and give a full broadside while I try to clear this island and get back and head towards B. Our friendly Fletcher manages to secure his first blood by torpedoing a Leningrad in smoke. Of course, as you know, I do love torpedoing things in smoke, so this is a Fletcher after my own heart. Detected once again, enemy Fubuki pops up. I'm going to try and take shots at him. Unfortunately, he's just outside of my secondary battery range. And that was not his own smokescreen that he was sitting in. Iowa pops up, takes shots, fires high explosive at me, and manages to set me on fire in 3 locations. So, of course, I have to extinguish that fire. As the Fubuki has his smokescreen up, he no longer is spotting me. Unfortunately, now I've come around this island far enough for the enemy over here to spot me. And unknown to me, at this particular moment in time, there is actually an enemy destroyer, there he is, that's sitting up here. Now, keep that Fubuki in mind, because we're going to see him later in battle. And it's a little disappointing that the Fletcher on our team didn't push up into the smokescreen and try and finish him. Because of what happens at the end of this battle, you're probably going to wish, like I did, that that Fletcher, in fact, did that. Now I'm going to continue sailing into B, and you'll notice I'm the only ship doing this. Those battleships, even though C has been secured, those battleships are still sailing to sea. What the actual... I don't even know. In the meantime, I am in secondary battery range of this other Bismarck, and we've started opening up. Here's the enemy Fubuki. He's popped up. He's very low health, but I don't get my guns on target quick enough before he disappears again. Again, very unfortunate, because that Fubuki is going to come back and cause some problems later. Managed to leave the secondary battery range of the Bismarck, and right in front of me is a smoke screen. And the enemy Fletcher has been known to be over here. Well, that smoke screen is not very far away from me, so Bismarck uses hydroacoustic. It's very effective. Bismarck uses manual secondaries in a chain attack with hydroacoustic. It's super effective. I'm not entirely sure if this guy in the Fletcher just wasn't fully aware yet that the Bismarck has hydroacoustic, but the fact that he is not moving very quickly, trying to stay in his smoke, possibly an indicator of that. Unfortunately, this kill is robbed from me by my teammates who are shooting at him, and I fail to secure a close quarters expert. Now, while I'm trying to cap B, at the very least I'm contesting it, an enemy Colorado has popped up, and he is within secondary battery range. With nothing else to shoot at, I've flagged him for secondaries. I'm trying to angle away from him. I don't need to be giving a broadside to this Colorado. My secondaries manage to set him on fire, and I do manage to do a decent amount of damage with my armor piercing. This Colorado is also going to be a thorn in my side at the end of the battle. You will notice now, at this point, the battle has gone very badly for my team. So far, we've only managed to capture 1 point. I am one of now 2 friendly ships trying to capture the other point, as the other battleships are taking their sweet time turning around and heading towards B to help. In the meantime, we've been down on points, and now we're down on ships. I'm still taking shots out at this Colorado, who is desperately trying to get behind the cover of this island. Again, I managed to hit him for a reasonable amount of damage, and I'm pretty sure that salvo right there just knocked out one of his guns. Enemy Iowa pops up, firing high explosive again, sets me on fire, and that's when a friendly North Carolina, who's definitely not paying attention, runs right into me. Pro tip, if you're in a battleship, you have 30 seconds between your salvos, you have time to pull that camera back and see where you're going. Take shots again at that enemy Bismarck off in the distance. And now I've left the cap, and I've left the cap for the other 4 battleships on my team to try and take. In the meantime, we have one of our cruisers who's chasing down the lone enemy cruiser all the way up there at the north end of the map, and he's not really helping. Iowa is broadside on and disappearing behind that island. But that's okay, as he tries to slip back there. I do manage to hit him for a sizable citadel, and that is going to be a reoccurring theme. If you're in an Iowa, please don't ever sail broadside on unless you're on the enemy team, in which case I encourage you to do this. This is a wonderful and valid tactic. You should totally be broadside on to me all the time. Try to take shots off at the enemy Scharnhorst before he disappears behind, again, the cover of an island. The situation is now pretty bad. We're down 6 ships to the enemy's 3. We've lost all of our destroyers, and the enemy still has 1. They have a Fubuki. And as you've seen from some of my Fubuki videos, you will know that a Fubuki on any amount of health can be extremely dangerous and could easily carry any team to victory. You can see his torpedoes are coming in, so he is definitely back up over there and still very much active. Punished that Iowa for sticking his bow out from around that island, and now again I'm looking for targets. We have a Miyoko and a Scharnhorst who both pushed over to this side of the map. But there's also a Tirpitz and a Bismark still pushing over to this side of the map. And I'm hoping for big hits, and I do manage to land a nice big fat citadel and knock out the engine on that Miyoko. Nothing in secondary battery range, and if you'll notice, Arazumo is extremely low health. Not only is he extremely low health, but he did manage to get himself into torpedo range of the Scharnhorst, who finishes him off with torpedoes. So now we've lost our Tier 9 battleship. We're down to pretty much myself, 3 other battleships, and 1 cruiser. The enemy team is winning heavily. We still have not yet managed to capture B. I'm still looking for targets to hit. Both this Miyoko and this Scharnhorst are turning away. However, this Iowa is directly in front of me, and this Bismarck is starting to push up around by this island. So I'm going to turn and I'm going to try and get my shots out on this Iowa, who is once again broadside on to me. At these kinds of ranges, even the 15-inch guns from the Bismarck and the Tirpitz can cause serious damage. I don't manage to land a citadel on him this time, so I don't secure the kill. However, I do put more damage in and leave him hurting. Enemy Bismarck's finally pushed around the island. He's in secondary battery range. I'm not entirely sure he has manual secondaries, because his secondaries, as you can see there, are actually opening up on 2 different ships. For me, this is actually a good thing, because it means my secondary hits are going to be more accurate. This Miyoko, who tried to get around behind this island for cover, broadside onto me, punished him dearly with another citadel on a poor cruiser and another incapacitation. Since I've got nothing better to shoot at, I'm going to take shots at this Bismarck, who was trying to turn away a little bit. I do manage to hit him for a reasonable amount of damage, but nothing major. I haven't lost too much health at this point, and my team is managing to pull it back a little bit. Our cruiser up to the north of us did finally take out that enemy cruiser who was pulling him away. As I push out towards the C cap point, as I push out towards the A cap point, now that we've finally captured B, I finish off that Miyoko with another citadel, and now I'm disappearing behind the island. The enemy Colorado, who I punished earlier, is still alive and hiding in the island's back behind A. Scharnhorst and Bismarck are both going to push up towards B, and now I've got an enemy Tirpitz who's within secondary battery range. Hit that Scharnhorst for a good amount of damage, and I'm looking at the situation. I know the Tirpitz has torpedoes, as I often call it, the Torpitz, so I don't want to close to within 6 kilometers of him. However, he's also way better off than I am as far as health. Most of those shots fail to do any reasonable damage, but this Tirpitz is in secondary battery range. More importantly, we are now both sailing in the same direction. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to try and kite this guy up towards my friendly team. And that's when the enemy Fubuki pops up just there. If he's popped up, there's probably torpedoes in the water, so I risk giving a broadside to the Tirpitz. I fail to get secondaries or main battery guns lined up on him in time. Sure enough, there's the torpedoes. Hit that Colorado, who's broadside onto me and in range of my main battery, and secure my high caliber to go with my Confederate. I really wish I had been able to continue closing in on that Fubuki's smokescreen location, because I really wish I'd been able to kill him. In the meantime, secondaries are still blazing away on that Tirpitz. You'll notice I'm keeping my ship as angled as I can against the Tirpitz behind me, but now I'm contemplating turning my ship and angling against both the Colorado and the Tirpitz. I can't just sail straight away from the tirpitz if I want to continue wearing him down with secondaries, because my secondaries do need line of fire, so I have to be at some kind of angle. So I angle my ship against both the tirpitz and the Colorado. Friendly Atago finally bites it as he was broadside onto the tirpitz, who, being unable to penetrate my armor from the stern, decided it was a better option to fire at him, and punished him for it. Knock out another gun on that Colorado. Continue my secondary barrage on that tirpitz, who I'm still managing to kite back this direction. I risk turning broadside to that Colorado for the simplest reason that I do not want to run aground, especially not with the tirpitz chasing me. Fire off this salvo. Can I secure the kill on that Colorado? Yes, I finally take out that Colorado. And now it's just the tirpitz, the Bismark, the Scharnhorst, and the Fubuki remaining on the enemy team. And this tirpitz is still in secondary battery range, and I've managed to punish him with well over 100 secondary hits. He hits me for a nice big whopping salvo right there at the end. Can I finish him off? Can I secure the kill? Come on, he's so low health. Manage to finish him off with fires. I don't get the close quarters expert because the fire killed him before those shots landed. Enemy Bismark, who's now finally on dangerously low health, tries to take last shots, parting shots at me before he's taken out of the game by our Scharnhorst. There again, the torpedoes from the enemy Fubuki, who is still alive. The enemy team is capping the C cap point, but myself and this Gneisenau are now in a position to capture A. More importantly, we've finally reversed the scores, and we're now mostly on a points lead, having 4 ships to the enemy's 2. This match looked like it was going to go very, very wrong there at the beginning and the middle of the matchup. But it's proven to not be the case. More importantly, it's proven to not be the case, and I've managed to break my all-time damage record. That's right, I've managed to break it. Just look at the amount of damage that I've done. My all-time record was around 218,000. And I've so far managed to do 219,000. Enemy Fubuki is somewhere back up in those islands because he's switching back and forth between detecting me and not detecting me. So that tells me that he's definitely up there in those islands. The direction of these torpedoes also tells me he's up there somewhere. So I don't want to give a broadside to him, so I'm going to keep my ship somewhat angled between trying to get into this cap and trying to keep my bow pointed in the direction I think he's located. If I can manage to nail him, that would be fantastic, because he's still been a thorn in my side. There's not a lot of time left on the clock, and at this point, really, all we have to do is stay alive. We're way up on points. We're in a winning position. But I'd still like to get the kill on the Fubuki, and there he is. He pops up. He's inside secondary battery range. I flag him for secondaries. These first 2 torpedo sets, well, they're going to miss me by a long, long while, and that's when I realize this 3rd torpedo set here, I'm not going to be able to dodge it. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no! I died with 10 seconds left on the clock. 10 seconds left on the clock. 219,000 damage. Broke my all-time damage record. Confederate arsonist and high caliber. That is a little bit crushing to die in the last 10 seconds to the Fubuki that I failed to kill earlier in the battle. Top of the team for XP earned, no surprises there. Anyway, that's it for today's video. If you liked the video, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, leave a comment down below. Be sure to check out my other World of Warships and Let's Play videos. If you've got a replay you'd like to submit, please do so by sending it to my email, listed in the description below. If you'd like to get semi-regular channel news and updates, including my Midway trip, please do so by liking and following me on Facebook. And if you'd like to help support my channel, please do so by visiting my Patreon. You can find the links for both Facebook, Patreon, and my email in the description down below. And as always, I'll see you next time. This is Captain Rye, signing off.